Photoshop is the best application to retouch photographs because there are so many ways to do it and so many automated ways to do it. One of my favorite ways of retouching images quickly is to use the content-aware fill option. Let me show you how it works. Let's just say I would like to get rid of these dogs here in the foreground just to make the image a bit more simple. And for that I'm going to use the lasso tool and just draw around them very quickly. So I don't even have to make a fine selection, just very roughly draw around the dogs like that. So this part of the image. And then I am going to press backspace, which is going to bring the fill option. If you have several layers, you can always go to edit fill. It's the same thing. From the fill menu, I will use content aware option and then I click on OK. And Photoshop will do the magic. It completely got rid of the dogs and that part of the plants here in the foreground. And we can't even see what was there originally now. So let's just go back just to show you this is what disappeared and this is what we have now in the image. So that is amazing, but as you can see we didn't need any masking in this case. So why am I showing this feature to you? Let me show you with a more complicated image, the same technique. Let's just say I would like to get rid of the girl in this photograph. Okay, so I am going to do the same thing, use the lasso tool, make a quick selection around her, and of course her shadow as well has to be removed from the image. So that's my selection, and then I again do the same thing, edit, fill, content aware, click on OK. Now Photoshop did a great job again, but unfortunately here in the pond it is a bit weird. We can see that the reference came from here on the left and it's not really realistic. The concrete part or the bricks here are great. They look very, very good. It's almost perfect, but the pond is not really good. So what we can do in this case is use masking to help Photoshop and to improve the effect of the content aware fill adjustment. So let me just go back one step. We have the selection of the girl, but we need to also make a mask. So I'm going to just deselect this. I press Command D, and I am going to make another selection of the area which I think is useful to create the content aware fill. Because content aware fill is an automated retouch technique. It samples the whole layer for parts that can be used to replace the parts that we want to get rid of. So to be able to restrict the area of reference, I am going to create a rectangle which will cover the part which I think is the most useful for this replacement. So I made that selection and then I turn this into a layer mask. I click on the mask icon and now only this part is visible. Let me use the lasso tool and make a selection around the girl once again. Just like before, I make the selection quickly like that, and then I select the image. Make sure that you don't have the mask selected, you have to have the image selected. Once the image is selected, we can use edit, fill, content aware and click on OK, and Photoshop will do a much better job now that we had the mask turned on. If we turn off the mask, shift click on the mask icon, we can see it looks really good. Maybe the only part is here, which we could do it better if we leave a little bit more space on the top with the mask. But that's just a minor adjustment which we can always sort out with the clone stamp tool. Just make the clone stamp brush a little bit bigger, alt click somewhere here and then draw over that area. So remember, the content aware fill is great to make a quick retouch on an image, but then don't forget to also use the basic retouch tools like the healing brushes and the clone stamp tool. In the next video I'm going to show you the last Photoshop masking technique, where we are going to combine several masks onto the same layer.